And greetings, everyone. This is Terry Naturally with Terry Talks Nutrition. We're here at the same time, same station, same everything. If you've been here before, that's all you have to do. Come on back exactly where we are. But if you're getting good information from us and we're helping you make a better quality of life for you, and we're reducing your drugs and medications, we're helping you become healthier and better. Maybe you won't live to be 120, maybe not even 100, but we want you to have a quality of life until there is no life. You can have a better quality of life. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what challenges you meet. I don't know what illnesses you are facing, what diseases you are facing. You can change your life. You can change your health by just doing some small things every day to make a better quality of life. That's the only reason that we are here. I went through the same thing. I was in very, very bad health when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was overweight, fat, no muscles, no strength, and always obnoxious, belligerent, angry, unhealthy. And it all comes from the choices we make. Food changes our mentality. When we choose food, we are changing our health mentally, physically, all the way across the board. Food makes us who we are. It's garbage in, garbage out. So if we put in too many choices of bad food, the only results we're going to have is bad health. It's not that we are plagued with diseases of unknown origin. Where did they come from? Are we unlucky? Did we roll the dice and we came up with some bad numbers? Is God punishing us? None of the above. We are unhealthy because we are choosing an unhealthy life. That's the bottom of it. Food is your medicine. Choose food that is your medicine. And give up all the sugar, the sweets, the junk food, and the excessive amount of carbohydrates, even healthy, complex carbohydrates, because all of that turns into sugar. All carbohydrates, good or bad, eventually will turn into sugar. Sugar is our enemy. Sugar triggers all kinds of diseases. The sugar itself is not going to kill you, but it creates chemical changes in our body that causes diseases. Type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. All the diseases that we face are triggered by sugar, by carbohydrates. So in the long run, choose a low carbohydrate diet. To make it easy, choose a ketogenic diet. Good quality animal protein. High quantities of good quality fats like virgin olive oil or extra virgin olive oil. Choose all the good, healthy foods, and you will be healthy. That's it. That's the bottom line. You want to be healthy? Choose healthy foods. Get rid of your medication. Get rid of your drugs. I'm not saying you should stop your medication. I don't know what you're going through. That you will have to discuss with your doctor. But I have seen so many people that I have met across the country that have started a low carbohydrate diet, a ketogenic diet, and even if you're not in ketosis, but you have given up carbs, to an extent you may not be in ketosis, but you have reduced the carbohydrates sufficiently enough to get rid of all the sugars. The carbohydrates will convert to sugar. White baked potatoes, or any kind of potatoes, will convert to sugar faster than a candy bar. And even sweet potatoes, get rid of the carbs. If I eat sweet potatoes at dinner, I don't sleep well. I'll lie awake, not being able to fall asleep, because I'm having a sugar spike. And then it crashes. If I have a low-carb vegetable, like broccoli or green beans, and a nice piece of steak of some kind, I'll sleep like a baby all the way through the night. We are plagued by chemical changes by the food we eat. There are so many people that are living on a junk food diet, taking drugs, prescribed drugs, and recreational drug. Or actually, why do I say recreational drugs? They're not. They're health-damaging drugs. And then they expect to be healthy. And that's why they become vicious, violent. They're mentally deranged. How can your chemistry of the body have a normal chemistry, or the brain have a normal chemistry on junk food? It can't be done. That's the only reason I'm here, is to alert you to what you can do and what you should not do. And the choice is yours. I don't make any choices for you. And today we're going to talk about some very interesting subjects, like some new research on Aronia berries, one of my most favorite berries, one of my most favorite natural medicines. We'll talk about crazy for caffeine, and we'll also talk about the risk factor for a heart attack. Should we be taking folic acid or folate? And increasing the rates of appendix cancer. Wow, we never heard of that before. Now we're having cancers all over the place. And if you're taking a GLP-1 drug, you have to listen. Let me remind you more about olive oil, one of the most superior foods that we can add to our diet. And do you have neck, back, or hip pain? Stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up your way in terms of helping you understand about your health. And then we can help you understand why you should be making changes and what's happening in your life. The Power of Aronia. That's A like apple. R-O-N-I-A. I have about 150 bushes of Aronia berries growing in my backyard. For a long time, I pruned them, weeded them, picked them, and took care of them. But today, I've grown lazy. They're a lot of work. I can't maintain 150 bushes anymore. Now I just buy frozen berries. So much easier. I get organic Aronia berries, frozen. And I'll tell you more later. But why do I love them? Because of all the scientific evidence of the healthiest berry in the world. And it can make us much, much more healthy. Aronia berries are packed with beneficial polyphenols. There are 8,000 polyphenols and subdivisions of those polyphenols. They are a very powerful antioxidant. very effective and powerful anti-inflammatories and anti-aging compounds. They're loaded with compounds that are healthy for our bodies. What about the potent antioxidant activity? Well, of course, in order to be a potent antioxidant, it has to be high or higher in ORAC value than any other berry. O-R-A-C, ORAC activity, than any other berry. It reduces inflammation, and inflammation is involved with every disease known to humans. Protects the DNA from damage. And at City of Hope Hospital in Monrovia, California, they have a laboratory headed up by Dr. Goel, and it's only designed to research natural botanicals or natural molecules, natural products that can help effectively treat diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, high blood pressure, and cancer. And they found out it's the most powerful anti-cancer natural product. Dr. Goel specializes in cancer research, particularly gastrointestinal cancer like colon and pancreatic cancer, one of the most harsh cancers of all. His whole laboratory, 30 to 40 laboratory technicians, they're doctors, medical doctors, PhDs, and investigating how cancer develops and the progression of cancer, and how plants, not drugs, plants can be effective treating cancer. He has looked specifically at Aronia berry. Alone, just the berry itself, and in combination with other nutrients, and its effects at stopping cancer in 4 studies, published so far with several more in the progress to show how it can treat cancer better than drugs. This is something that we have to look at carefully, because this is something that's going to really make a difference in people's lives. How do we get rid of cancer? How does cancer begin? Well, certain of all, we are causing our cancer. We are making our cancer progress because of what we're doing. So what has Dr. Goel discovered about Aronia berries? Here's what he has to say. This is a lab director, a PhD in the study of cancer. He helps oncologists at City of Hope Hospital in Monrovia, California, to understand more how they can treat their patients with natural products. First of all, it relieves and reverses cancer cells' resistance to treatment. Some cancer cells become resistant to the treatment with drugs. So it allows standard chemotherapy, drugs to be more effectively to treat cancer and kill cancer cells. It boosts the body's own anti-cancer immune system defenses. And when paired with other natural anti-cancer compounds like the herb Andrographis. Andrographis is an herb that is second in line to Aronia berries in terms of killing cancer cells. Or grapeseed extract, which we call OPCs. And when they combine Aronia berry with Andrographis or with the OPCs from grapeseed extract. The combination is even more effective than the individual botanicals. You can use one herb, or you can use a combination of 2 or 3. And when you combine them together, essentially what you're saying is 1 plus 1 equals 5. Because it's that much more effective. You don't get 2, you get 5. So how do you use Aronia for disease prevention, anti-aging, athletic performance, and recovery from athletic performance or from exercise? Any chronic health condition, heart disease, cancer, macular degeneration, diabetes, metabolic syndrome. When Dr. Goel uses cancer cells or in animals that have been grafted with human cancer cells, and when you extrapolate what treats the animals to humans, it's 300 milligrams. So take 300 milligrams of Aronia daily. It's a powdered extract. You might be able to find them in capsule form. And you can also combine them, or combine Aronia with antigraphis, with grapeseed extract. These are the 3 most powerful anti-cancer herbs or botanicals that Dr. Goel has discovered. He hasn't discovered the ingredients. He discovered the power of being anti-cancer, disease prevention, anti-aging, cardiovascular disease. Now, the only thing that I can say negative about Aronia berries, they're very tart. They pucker up your mouth. They're known as black choke berries. When you drink a glass of dry wine, it makes your mouth kind of puckered up. It's an astringent. It shrinks your mucous membranes. It dries out the mucous membranes. Some people love a dry wine. I don't. I like a fruity wine. But Aronia puckers up your mouth. It's very difficult to find someone, including myself, I've tried it. You can't chew a lot of Aronia berries and eat them raw or eat them fresh. So there's a hard way to find the best way to consume Aronia berries. I found a way, it works great for me. I make a protein drink every morning for my breakfast. I have a number of ingredients that I combine together to give me a good, high-quality protein drink with Aronia berries. I add a cup of frozen Aronia berries to my drink. So I'm getting a full complementary of all the components of Aronia berries by adding them to my drink. Your kids would not love them. You may not even love them fresh or raw or as a berry. You're not going to sit down and eat Aronia berry like you would a raspberry or blackberry or blueberries. But they're the most healthiest berry of any berry in the world. Now you have to find a way to add them to your diet to get all the benefits of Aronia berries. You can find Aronia juice, but I like to take it as a powder. It's much more concentrated. It's stable. There is no sugar. They won't deteriorate. They'll last up to 3 years in a capsule. So that's the best way to take it. 300 milligrams capsule, 1 daily. That's all you have to do. If you want to add if you want to add antigraphis, I would say about 400 milligrams twice a day. And if you want to add grapeseed extract, add 300 milligrams twice a day. That is a very powerful protocol, anti-cancer protocol. So try this. Find a way to use Aronia berries if you can. Otherwise, use the supplement of 300 milligrams of Aronia berries daily. Now, are you crazy for caffeine? Kids are skipping the energy drinks. They are. Sales are down on energy drinks and are going straight for caffeine. Now they're buying caffeine pouches that are designed to be held in the mouth. And the caffeine is absorbed really quickly through the gums into the bloodstream. Sublingually, they absorb them into the body, systemically. And a pouch of caffeine can contain as much as 200 milligrams of caffeine. Crazy. That's equal to 2 cups of coffee in one hit. That's a lot of caffeine for a teenager. How some manufacturers just damage teenagers and people alike. Too much caffeine for teens have many damaging side effects. Heart palpitations, anxiety, insomnia, and many gastrointestinal and digestive disorders. Some teens think that a caffeine pouch is healthier than drinking coffee. Healthy energy for teens and adults. Eat real food. When you eat real food, you are supplying energy to your body. And supplement with a high-quality daily multivitamin. Try natural energy supplements like red ginseng. Coffee without sugar, artificial creamer, is healthier than a straight hit of caffeine. Coffee is a berry. The bean is a berry. And it contains polyphenols like Aronia berries, but is not as effective and not as much. But it is still a natural product. Regular coffee and the intake of coffee has been shown to reduce the risk of cancer. Real coffee. Real natural food coffee. Not caffeine. Because of the polyphenols in coffee or tea. It can reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Now we only have a few minutes before we take a break. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll come back right after the break, and we'll continue on with Terry Talks Nutrition. You know, you can also go to my website. I have a website called terrytalksnutrition.com. There's all kinds of good evidence on my website that can also help you understand more about health and nutrition. Not just this 1 hour. I'm with you an hour. And you can only talk about so much within that hour. But you can go to my website, and there you can actually subscribe to my newsletter. I'll send you out a brand new newsletter every Friday to your website, to your email address. So you can have lots more information. It doesn't end with this hour. When I close this program within the next 30 minutes, you can just jump onto my website and learn more and subscribe to my newsletter. I have over 300,000 readers on my website. 300,000 followers. They're following because they're getting the good information that they want. It's increasing by leaps and bounds. But we have a short break coming up. The clock on the wall says a few seconds, and they're going into a break. But when I come back, I want to know and want you to know what the single biggest risk factor for a heart attack. What could it be? I'm going to tell you what the single biggest risk factor. So stay right where you are. I'll come back right after this. And welcome back, my friends. This is Terry Naturally. I'm the host of Terry Talks Nutrition. I love being here. I love sharing information with you. And it's endless. Because we are beginning to know more and more and more why a healthy diet creates a healthy environment within our bodies, and it reduces the bad choices we make that creates a bad diet, bad health. You can make such huge changes, like right now. And I'm going to tell you the biggest single risk factor for a heart attack. So, what's behind most heart attacks? In a recent study, researchers looked at health data from over 9 million people in Korea and almost 7,000 people in the United States. When they identified the people who had had a heart attack or another significant damage to the heart, what was the biggest risk factor, which caused 95% of them to have this risk factor? 95%. It's high blood pressure. Make sure you know what your blood pressure is, because it's silent. You don't feel it. Some may feel it, but most people do not feel high blood pressure. So you should have a checkup. 99% of the people with heart disease had at least one risk factor. Well, of course, the number one, high blood pressure. Now, I say high cholesterol because this is a very controversial subject. There's nothing wrong with having a cholesterol level up to as high as 300. If you know what the HDL is and the LDL, and if you know the ratio of the HDL to the triglyceride level, cholesterol levels were not reported to be bad. They only report the only total cholesterol or high blood sugar. But the single most common condition that almost everyone had before experiencing a serious heart attack or heart disease was high blood pressure. The majority of American adults, have high blood pressure. You should check it out, not just guess. And this is something you can't feel very easily. You've got to know the number. Why is high blood pressure so dangerous? Here is the evidence. Blood pressure is the force blood puts against the blood vessels as it moves through the body. When you have high blood pressure, that means your heart is working so hard, harder than usual, to push blood through your body. You might say it is working overtime. When you work overtime, you're more tired. You've lost your energy level. And maybe you're stressed out. And that's for the body as well. Your blood pressure is working overtime and is under a lot of stress. And the smaller the arteries, the more narrow the arteries. Your arteries is like a hose. And if you allow dirt to collect in the hose, it will narrow the diameter of the inside of the arteries or the inside of the hose. And if you let it sunbake in that hose, it takes a long time to flush it out with water. Well, we can't go into the arteries of the body and flush it out. So they do bypass surgery. But we can actually clean out the arteries. And I'll tell you more about that coming up. But the narrower the arteries, the harder it is to get the blood cells through the arteries or push the blood through. If you have clogged arteries and in addition heart disease, having high blood pressure, this triples your risk of a stroke. Makes you 3 times more likely to be depressed. And gives you a 42% increased risk of dementia, otherwise known as Alzheimer's disease. My best advice is to get your blood pressure down. First of all, find out what it is. What is the number? The ideal number is 120/80. That's not going to change. You want to keep it as close to 120/80 as you can. Now, some lifestyle changes can help you reduce that pressure by losing weight, stop smoking, get enough sleep, and exercise. But also, too, natural medicines can definitely lower blood pressure. A combination of natural plants have been studied to show that olive leaf, not fruit, olive leaf, and fruit perhaps, but not the oil, is more effective than the oil combined with grapeseed. So olive leaf and grapeseed reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. There was a study on the combination of these two, and they are as effective as drugs without any side effects. Now, another herb that has been used in China for thousands and thousands of years, and that is red sage. S-A-G-E, red sage. What it does, it increases nitric oxide, commonly referred to as NO. Nitric oxide, NO. The levels. So when you improve nitric oxide, you are increasing the level of the opening of the arteries. And it helps to open tight arteries. Cleans out the plaque in the arteries. And another combination of vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin K2, vitamin 3, D3. These three together have been shown scientifically to clear the clogged arteries and keep artery walls smooth and flexible. What do these three nutrients do? They're like a traffic cop. They direct the calcium in our foods, the calcium in supplements, to clear out the artery walls and go into the bone and improve bone density. Calcium should not be in the arteries. When the calcium is in the arteries, it binds with cholesterol and forms a plaque. And the thicker the plaque, the less inner diameter of the artery. So you have less blood flowing through the arteries. Vitamin D3, K2, and A direct the calcium to your bones and the soft tissue of your body. And then allows the calcium to go to the bone rather than in the artery. So by all means, use vitamin D3, K2, and A as a dietary supplement every day. And if you have high blood pressure, add a combination of olive leaf and grapeseed extract or red sage. They're all very effective, scientifically supported, to improve the lowering of your blood pressure and improving blood flow, better circulation. Now, supplements have contained folic acid for years and years. So what's wrong with folic acid? Well, there's a debate today that we should not take folic acid in any form. We should take folate. Folate is a natural form of folic acid. Why the form of folate matters? What's the big deal? Folate is known as vitamin B9. It's one of the B vitamins, B9. And it's a very essential nutrient. Every cell in the body needs folate. It is required to make new cells like brain, blood, skin, and hair cells. Supplemental folate. I said supplemental folate, a dietary supplement. But in the form of synthetic folic acid, is often added to foods and some supplemental vitamins. Now, folic acid needs to be converted in the body to the active form folate before the cells can use it. Now, however, certain genetic mutations reduce the ability by some humans to effectively convert folic acid to folate. So there's a genetic mutation in some people that will not allow folic acid to be converted to folate. And there's very serious side effects of using folic acid. Some people have as much as 75% reduction in their conversion ability. This is all scientifically proven. Not my opinion. It's the opinion of many doctors and scientists who have been researching why we should not be using folic acid. So supplemental folate in the form of methylfolate. Methylfolate is a natural form and is already in the active form. So it can be used by cells without needing conversion first. How to get your supplemental folate? Well, if you're going to be taking folate, I would always add B6, vitamin B6, vitamin B12. They should also be taken in their active form, as they otherwise need to be converted, just like folate. You want to look for the methylated folate compounds, like vitamin B6, commonly known as P5P. That means pyridoxal 5-phosphate. And B12. It used to be called cyanocobalamin. Now it's methylcobalamin. And folate as methylfolate. These B vitamins do not need conversion through the liver function into the converted form because they already are converted for you. You don't have to chance it. You don't have to risk taking the synthetic form. This is vitamin B6 as P5P, pyridoxal phosphate. Vitamin B12 as methylcobalamin, and folate as methylfolate. These are already converted in the very high form, biologically active forms of these three nutrients. Now, can you believe that the rate of cancer is increasing for appendix cancer? Nobody ever talked about, I have cancer of the appendix. We are getting so many forms of cancer, and the rate of cancer is climbing sky high. It's a very rare cancer, but unfortunately, like many cancers, they all are becoming more common, even in kids. What is the appendix? Well, it's a small pouch attached to the large intestines. Medical researchers think it plays a role in the immune system and may act as a reservoir for good gut bacteria. I don't think many of us think about the appendix unless it becomes inflamed and infected, and then to prevent any damage has to be removed. However, cases of appendix cancer have been increasing rapidly in the last few years. Appendix cancer used to be so rare, most and many doctors never ever saw a case. But like other gastrointestinal cancer rates, appendix cancer cases have quadrupled 4 times for people born since 1970 versus those born in the 1940s. About 30% of appendix cancer occur in people under the age of 50. Symptoms of appendix cancer are similar to other digestive diseases: mild abdominal pain, bloating, and changes in the bowel habits. Overuse of antibiotics, which damage our beneficial gut bacteria. Processed foods, ultra-processed foods, excessive sugar intake, and obesity may all play a role in the increasing rate of appendix cancer and other gastrointestinal cancers. That's why it's so important to try to improve the quality of your diet, which ultimately will increase the quality of your health. What you do is what you are. Now here's another controversial subject. If you are taking GLP-1 drugs, what can you expect? Well, there are many adverse effects of Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs. Here are some common side effects for everyone. 50% of the people taking this drug will have nausea. 30% will experience constipation and vomiting, stomach pain, diarrhea are also frequently reported. Less common but serious side effects. Using a GLP-1 drug increases the risk of stomach paralysis by up to 66%. Food sits so long in the stomach, it can form a hard mass, triggering unstoppable vomiting, leading to dehydration. It can cause loss of muscle mass, not just reducing weight. Oh, I've lost 45 pounds. Oh, I've lost 46 pounds. I know somebody who's lost 55 pounds. Now, I'm not saying that in respect of me, but that's what the ads say. Not just weight, but when you lose weight, whether it's dieting or however you do it, 35 to 50% of the weight you lost is muscle mass. And with this drug, you're not just losing weight. Most older adults are already struggling with age-related loss of muscle mass. Significant weight loss can cause loose, dry, baggy skin, known as Ozempic bug. But do you want a baggy butt? It just cracks me up. Forgive me. Dry, baggy skin is commonly known as Ozempic butt. B-U-T-T, butt, your bum. And also your face. Many of the people taking this drug already have a saggy, baggy face. Now, new evidence. As demand for these drugs skyrocket, consumers are buying drugs from sketchy websites that are often counterfeits at best. These fakes won't hurt you, but they won't help you either. At worst, they may be contaminated with other drugs that are more dangerous and can cause you to lose your health and to create real health problems. If you take a GLP-1 medication, absolutely talk to your doctor. Don't get it anywhere else but from your doctor. Get a good quality daily multi that will replenish with fatty acids, like omega-7. Especially important for keeping your skin hydrated and moist. Omega-7. Consider additional glucosamine, chondroitin, and hyaluronic acid to help keep your skin firm and tight. And the best thing to do is to take a product that is a combination of Ayurvedic herbal medicines, herbal compounds, which can aid bowel regularity, like turmeric, antigraphis, licorice, coca-cola, sarsaparilla, long pepper. There are 14 herbs that have been used over 5,000 years to regulate the bowels. If you're having diarrhea, it regulates it. If you're constipated, it regulates it. It regulates the bowel. 14 herbs that have been used for 5,000 years to create a better health of the bowel. That's all I have for you, my friends, because we're all out of time. I have more to tell you, but unfortunately, I don't have enough time to do that. We are looking at 1 minute, 23 seconds before we close the program. But I just want to remind you, start doing the things that are constructive for your health. We have all the evidence. I can't give you all the evidence so fast. I only have an hour to share with you. But I'll be here every weekend, same time, same station, with an hour of new information. And if you want more information, go to my website, Terry Talks Nutrition. And subscribe to my newsletter. Over 300,000 people are getting my newsletter every Friday. If you want to be on that list, join us. We can share with you more and more information on the program, but this is not the only place for information. It's also on my website. It's also in my newsletter. We want to make you healthy. That's all the passion I have, is to help even just one person at a time change their health. That would give me goosebumps. So, my friends, say a prayer for this crazy, crazy world. God bless you, my friends, and God bless this great America.
Thank you for listening to Terry Talks Nutrition Weekly Show. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, including Apple, Google, and iHeartRadio.